Camera companies don't want you to know this, because if you did, you might never buy a camera ever again. And I'm not going to tell you anything silly like specs don't matter or you don't need the newest gear, but something much, much deeper that will change the way you think about shooting forever. Now, a lot of us always ask the same question. Whenever we see a great photo, video, or a project by our favorite YouTuber or creator, what did they shoot that on? What camera did they use and what lens is that? And you're not wrong for asking that question. If you love the project, you probably just want to know how they did it. And it's pretty valid to assume that the quality of the camera or lenses probably had a lot to do with the quality of the photo and video and how good it was. And you might also assume that once you get that camera or lens, you can probably shoot something that looks just as good, or simply take your own ideas and make them look better. But this is an insidious question. This question leads you all the way down the wrong path. And notice how this question always gets you to think that, hey, if I get that camera, I can then do this. The camera almost gatekeeps your ability to do something. And this is completely by design. Because most of us believe, and I used to believe this, that a high quality product will give you high quality results, and a low quality product will probably give you low quality results, which does make sense for things like mattresses. If you get a nicer mattress, you're probably gonna sleep better. If you get a nicer chair, it's probably better for your back. You pay more for better results. And this is why camera companies release new gear at a breakneck pace. Pretty much every single year, there's a newer camera out with more megapixels, with better low light, with better autofocus, with 8K video, with 12K video, and the technology just never stops. However, cameras do not work like that, at least within photography and video, because most products that we're willing to pay more for are consumer products. Someone has already put their artistic integrity and ingenuity into making the most comfortable chair. But those are products where everything is already done for you and you're simply meant to consume it. But here's the thing, cameras are not consumer products. They are creative tools. They are tools meant for us, you and me, to make products with those cameras, like photos, videos, short films, movies, social media content, documentaries, whatever you want to make. But the camera itself is simply a tool, a creative tool. But a better tool can only help you do your job or your project easier and faster. Better autofocus might help you shoot a short film where the characters are always walking and talking, and it might be easier to pull focus. Better low light on your camera might make it so that you can easily shoot at nighttime, but it doesn't make the video or the story or the concept better. A great example of this is that these two photos were taken on a $500 camera and a $3,500 camera. But I bet immediately you can't really tell the difference between the two, and you can't really judge at which photo looks better or which photo has better quality. Yes, you can probably zoom into one of them and literally see the pores on the model's skin, but that doesn't make the photo better. And there's really no difference between these two cameras, and one isn't inherently making the photo better. What matters is what is being shot. How does the model look? How does the lighting look? What is the concept? Does the photo make you feel anything? Is there anything interesting happening in these photos? Because here's the sad truth. People that like to get all wrapped up in camera specs, like me, generally just don't have a personality, and we need something to compensate with. But maybe I'm projecting. But specs are tools. They're creative tools meant to make your life easier, because nobody looks at your photo and goes, oh my God, is that 8K, dude? Oh my God, you shot this on a 50mm lens with f1.8? Look at how blurry that background is. I love this photo. The background is so blurry. Nobody thinks that. What people really care about is the emotions, the story. How does the photo, video, the work in general relate to them? How does it make them feel? But I bet when you asked your original question, what did they shoot this on? It was probably because the photo, video, or whatever made you feel something. It wasn't because you were like, oh my God, this is 60 megapixels. And this is why whenever you see a launch video for a camera, you have the best photographers in the world shooting the wildest things in the world. Because what matters more is what is being shot with the camera. Because Even if you shot a Canon camera, a Sony camera, and a Nikon camera side by side, and you shot trash cans, nobody cares. But immediately, if you just shoot Keanu Reeves jumping out of a plane, doesn't matter if it's a Canon, Nikon, or Sony. It's Keanu Reeves jumping out of a plane. You could shoot that on an iPhone and it's still interesting. One of my favorite creators on YouTube is a guy named Cam Mackey. And when you watch all of his videos, they all have a theme, they all have a style. He's like this rugged Western cowboy. And in his case, it doesn't matter what brand he's shooting. What you care about is the world of Cam Mackey. The fact that he's a rugged modern cowboy, and all of his videos have a very specific Western aesthetic. And that's what we're actually drawn to. Because what really matters is the artist, the subject matter, the context, and the emotional draw in your work. Now, I'm not here to say that camera specs don't matter. Anyone that tells you that, you should be very suspicious of, because camera specs do matter a ton. But specs pretty much never equate to better quality, but rather specs are a creative tool for making your vision as an artist come to life. For example, let's take 4K at 120 frames per second. It's a spec that we all want. Maybe you need 4K at 120 frames per second because you're shooting an Olympic athlete who's running super fast and you need to be able to shoot that fast. Or maybe you want to tell a gritty crime drama, so you want a high ISO camera so you can shoot everything at nighttime. In that case, the spec is helping you make your work better in the sense that it's helping you bring your creative vision to life. And if you've been watching this channel for any period of time, you know that I am the biggest gearhead. But one thing I always try to remind myself is that the technology is there to serve the idea. A good example of this is that I recently shot some pretty badass car footage, if I do say so myself. But I shot everything at a 2x anamorphic lens, which gives you these really obnoxious black bars, and your video is basically a small little band in the middle of your screen. And I didn't want that look, so I shot at 8K RAW so that later on I could zoom into my image, have it fill up the entire space for YouTube, and not have to deal with these obnoxious black bars at the top and bottom. That's one case where the 8K footage helped me bring my vision to life by shooting that car in 8K. It did not make the car look better. I was not able to see more detail without zooming in. The 8K simply served my creative vision and helped me make what I wanted easily. So chances are, whatever camera or lens you and I have is probably just fine. What we actually need is a ticket to Japan or somewhere equally exotic. What we actually need is an athlete that we can shoot at 120 frames per second, where 120 frames per second actually matters. What we actually need are friends and a crew that can help us make our dream project. And that's what camera companies do not want you to know. We all have limited resources, so they want to show you the most epic, the flashiest tech out there being shot by the best photographers, the best filmmakers in the world, making the coolest projects. And they want us to look at those films and go, wow, if I had that camera, I could probably do it too. But here's the thing, you and I don't need another camera. You and I don't need a better lens. What we need are better ideas, because the actual audience outside of the film industry, outside of the photographer industry, does not care if something is 8K, 4K, 6K, or even 1080p. What they care about is how does the work make them feel. They care about is what was the story? What was the action? Was I entertained? And if you guys are watching this thinking, how do I level up my ideas? And if you want a laser focused way to do that, I have a very affordable course in the description down below called Camera Boost. It's everything I know about filmmaking, photography, and working in the film industry over the last 10 years. It's a laser focused course on how to use your camera like a pro, how to edit your photos and videos better like a pro, but most importantly, it's about how to level up your creative ideas, how to find your style, and how to actually produce your creative ideas in a timely manner so you can grow your expertise, your career, or just your passion, whatever you want to do with photo and video. It literally will make you a better filmmaker or photographer or an overall creative within a day if you go through the course fast enough. It's down there in the description. I highly recommend checking it out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.